Welcome back to our next episode of Uncivil Discourse, hosted by Lee,
Hey, everybody.
myself, and our guest commentator this year, Jeff.
How's it going?
Well, everybody, we have hit halfway through the season. We've finished Game 5, and we're looking at some pretty interesting breakdowns as we split everybody from the top 16 to the bottom 16. So what this will work is the top 16 will play against each other, and the bottom 16 will play against inside their group. That way we don't have people at the end of the season, their last 2 or 3 games, playing against the top seeds. It just seems to be a little bit fairer, especially for our newer players.
That means we're into the nitty-gritty of it, folks. We're into the last 3 weeks where the skill spend's coming up, and the last 5 games before we get into the playoffs. And it's going to be a tough battle at the top, and we're going to see a lot of people come from that B-side division up to A, and we're going to see a lot of people from that A-side division dropping down. It's going to be a wild ride for the next few weeks.
Woo woo!
Yeah, hey, I made it the way it worked out. I don't have to face you, Jeff. I don't have to face OG. I don't have to face JP. The random scheduling did me a big favor. I'm almost kind of glad I lost the first 3 games.
I don't even think I get to beat up on you this year.
Yeah, we don't play, but we were in the same pool at the bottom because you just barely got pushed out of the top 16.
Spoiler alert.
It's all right. People are used to that from us. So last week I had a big giggle and laugh about one of the players asking to rename the lunar base to the lunar bullshit map. Funny as hell. I had a great laugh the whole episode. I was giggling, but contributions from the community have actually come in, and we managed into renaming 2 of our arenas this year. Map 19, Lunar Base, was renamed Lunar Bullshit. Thank you for your contribution, John. And Map 28, the Devil's Bath, has been renamed the Head Smashed In Falcon Jump due to a Phoenix Hawk Memorial Award contender, but financed by the pilot himself, Aaron.
That's not even a Phoenix Hawk. The maneuver won him the game.
It don't matter whether it worked or not. It was a blunder by setting up in that first place. It could have cost him the game. It came close to because he did take a blow to the head.
That was a tactical necessity on his part.
Due to a tactical oops at the beginning.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a quick summary of what we've got going on. That's a little bit extracurricular here. Let's take a look at the skill spends for this week. Kondo's Janissaries Bank.
Kels Keswick picks up Gunnery for the Warhammer.
Ghosts of Gunsburg, they bank.
The Remnants also bank.
Riston's Rogues Shootist gets Gunnery, and the Perseus gets Technician to swap the LB-20 for an ERPPC. The starting battle value was 1864. With that swap, it added Case 2 to 2 different locations. It also added AMS and a Beagle Active Probe, jump jets, a rear-facing small pulse laser, for a total increase of 200 on the dot, making the new battle value of that Perseus 2,064.
Fosh Knights, bank.
Neon Betons T-Bolt picks up favorite weapon for the large pulse lasers.
Half-cut Banks.
The Vengeful Ones, their Battle Cobra took Ground Pounder.
The Kinkazi Atlas picks up Lethargic.
Alshane Regulars Thunderhawk picks up Clan Salvage Endo for starting BV of 2,577. It adds 3 Case 2s for the Gauss rifles and swaps 2 medium lasers for medium pulse lasers. Its new BV is now 2,583, or an increase of 6 whopping battle value.
Tin Man's Tin Cans, they bank their points.
Nace CIT also banks.
Radiant Raven Raiders Battlemaster grabs Gunnery, Crystal Alignment, and has 3 points left over.
The first Merrick's Militia. The Merrick Militia picks up Bullseye and Technician. It starts off with a BV of 1348. It swaps out the Narc for more LRM ammo. Now it has 4 tons of ammo, 2 for each launcher, picks up Case 2 to protect the ammo, and increases the armor up to 152 out of 169. That's 90% coverage, up from 72%. Big change. The new BV is 1537, for a total increase of 189.
First Dracons, Shadowhawk picks up Melee Expert.
Fenrir's Frostfangs, Nodachi picks up Mountaineer.
The Blitzkrieg Jezebels, their avatar picks up Alternative Configuration. Their avatar prime has a BV of 1395. It then picks up the variant E. Because it has some illegal tech, we dropped the C3I for Case 2 and AMS. The new variant BV is 1669.
The Devil's Brigade banks their points.
Pit Vipers, Marauder picks up Lethargic.
A Wolfpack Marauder 2 picks up Gunnery.
Thumper's Revenge Longbow takes Technician to drop a couple of ER small lasers in favor of Case 2.
Cat Nightingale Cavalry, the Longbow, favorite weapons the MML9.
Oh, that's going to be ugly.
Yeah, that is. Ansgar's Outlaws banks.
The Hogan's Heroes, their Rakshasa picks up Missile Grouping.
Wendigo Night Stalkers, Guillotine picks up Target Lock.
Bashi's Avengers Black Knight also picks up Target Lock.
Paxton's Pathfinders, the Orion, picks up Lethargic.
Dead Man's Hands, Huron Warrior picks up Anticipation.
The League of Robots, they bank this week.
The Teddy Bear Parade, the Kodiak picks up Speed Demon.
Oh, that is
Nope.
terrifying. So, as everyone can see, the mech modification skills have almost all petered out. Some people are doing some little minor changes now because the majors have all been spent. And it's starting to look like we're going to see nothing but gunnery, piloting, and general skills bot from this point on.
And on that note, we can go in and take a quick look at what our top skills have been so far this year. Preseason, we had all but 8 players, so 24 use their faction tech. So far, we've seen 9 chassis upgrades. We've seen 12 underworld contacts, 18 engineerings, and so far 10 technicians, and 8 clan salvages. We've also seen 8 chassis reassignments. When we get into the gunnery skills, our most common gunnery skill so far has been just straight up gunnery, followed by favorite weapon. Straight up gunnery is at 10, favorite weapon is at 8 so far. Target lock is quickly catching up, it's also at 8. When you look at some of the other stuff, we've seen camouflage, which didn't come up previous year. It's been used 3 times now. And we've actually seen 1 alt configuration now, which I expected to see a lot more with all the clans out there, but so be it. So those are some of the highlights. There's a lot of other ones as well. Faction skill pickup, like your individual faction skills. There's been 4 people that have used those so far as well. The second half, the last 3 games we'll see, or 4 games we'll see skill points for, is when I imagine we'll start seeing all those nifty mobility skills and rest of the gunnery skills people are putting on their mechs. Should be a good time.
So everybody's got 12 more points coming. We'll see how those peter out, and then everybody gets to play with the existing skills for 2 matches, and then we're going to be into playoffs. So with that, it's time to take a look at the final matches for the first half of the season, before we shake things up and re-season our stable masters for the second half. Game number 1, remembering this is last week's games, we had Kinkazi versus the Remnants on the Tundra Arena, with the Kinkazi coming away for their first 4-0 victory of the season.
Yeah, the Marauder takes out the Warhammer and the Wraith, while the Atlas clips the Avatar and the Wraith gets the kill on the Thunder Chicken. I was talking to Chris of the Remnants afterwards, and he says it's the fastest game he's ever played. Everything went wrong. Absolutely everything that could go wrong went wrong, and his team just folded. He has no understanding of why it happened other than just bad dice rolls.
That brings us to game number 2 was Fox Knights versus Brandon's Triple R's. With the Raiders out of the country, this ended up being a 2-0 bye win for the Fox Knights.
Game number 3, we have Abishai's Avengers up against the Blitzkrieg's Jezebels. Tiptoeing in the daisies may be a good time, but these two teams went tiptoeing across the Caustic Valley. Abishai's Avengers come home with a 4-2 victory.
The Blitzkrieg's Goliath manages to take out the Black Knight, and in the final turn of the game, the Bargus takes out the Flashman. However, in return, the Flashman picked up 4 kills this time.
Yeah, skyrockets on the killer's corner. Just skyrockets.
Game number 4, Cats Cavalry versus the 1st Merrick Militia in the Caustic Valley. This map is seeing lots of love this year, with another match being played in this arena. 3-1 Cavalry victory.
Well, the Marauder gets hammered with tandem charge warheads, taking out a hip, gyro, and a lower leg. The Longbow finished off the Marauder, Orion, and the Trebuchet having taken out the Sad Cat.
Game number 5, League of Robots versus Hogan's Heroes. These teams get to enjoy the pavement experience. Not a lot of skidding going on, but it came out with a 2-1 Robots victory.
Yeah, the Elementals claim a backshot kill onto the Rakshasa. So many Sad Cats died this year. They've been taken out by infantry, and the Uziel is brought down low by the Galahad's large pulse lasers. The real victory is the day she's killed by the Bandersnatch today. It's a cockpit kill, but a kill, any form of a kill against these Clanner assault mechs is a good one.
Game number 6, Teddy Bears versus Nace CIT. If Grumpy Bear walks through the lakes and the streams, does anybody really win? Well, the Teddy Bears have a pick-a-nick, scoring a 4-0 victory today.
So the Warhammer picks up 2 more in the kill count. The Stormcrow snakes ones out from under the Kodiak, and the Grumpy Bear stays relevant with the Marauder kill. They have killed 16 opponent mechs to 0 points against. The Teddy Bears are making the rest of us look like chumps, guys. We've got to start killing some of those mechs.
Game number 7, Dead Man's Hand versus Tin Man's Tin Cans. What was once known as the Lunar Base sees some bullshit with Dead Man's Hand clean sweeping over the Tin Man's 4-0.
Well, I'm going to brag. I went from the bottom of the list, 32nd place, up to number 20. I am moving my way up. I'm still in the bottom half, but things went really well for me. The only thing I gotta say, Justin, thank you for playing. It's great. I will lay off about you not showing up. You showed up for this one, even if we had to reschedule. My Templar kills both the Phoenix Hawk, Guillotine, and the Battlemaster. And meanwhile, the Black Hawk gets the T-Bolt. It was a good game. A lot of fun. The interchange between our close range mechs were really... My Black Hawk just got lambasted. You made a little bit of a flank trying to get after my Gauss rifle boats, but I just backed them off and let you waste your movements. That's really the only tactical change that happened there. Otherwise, it was just a dead-on blasting back and forth. Good game, Justin. Looking forward to playing you again sometime.
Game number 8, the Pit Vipers versus the First Drakon. Some dumbass called this a 4-0 game. And that's exactly, well, close enough to what we had. 4-1 Pit Viper victory.
Wasn't it supposed to be a 4-0 First Drakon fight?
That would be the dumbass call, yep.
Wow, that's quite the reversal of fortune there.
It very much was a reversal of fortune. What could go wrong did go wrong for me in this match. The Fafnir is the king of the hill for the the Plains of Death, dealing out so much death. The Black Knight absorbed 6 heavy gauze rounds. The Viking absorbed 9 heavy gauze rounds. And the Shadowhawk absorbed 1 to the face. Meanwhile, the Thunderbolt picked up the kill on the Axeman. Mind you, the Shadowhawk, before it died, killed off the Marauder.
Shadowhawk still putting work in for you, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he almost would have had a second kill had he not taken that gauze rifle in the face.
And I know how much the Shadowhawk and my Jaeger mech surprise you, Jeff. The cool thing about my Jaeger mech, while it doesn't get a lot of kills, or at least haven't the past couple of games, it distracts the hell out of people. Everybody wants it dead with its 2 Gauss rifles.
Everybody wants it dead because it's a Jaeger mech.
Yes. Sure.
I was just going to say that. You sure it's the Gauss rifles that's the problem? Or not just the stain of a mech that looks like a Jaeger mech sitting on the table?
Like, I don't even want to look at that any longer. I just want it dead.
You're lucky you don't have to play me then. Till playoffs when I'm going to whoop you. All right. Game number 9. The Wolfpack up against Al Shane's regulars. Rockin' and rolling on the gravel experience. Al Shane's pulls out a victory 2-1.
The Thunderhawk claims both the Night Sky and the head of the Marauder with its Gauss rifles. The Wolfpack kicks the crab to death in revenge.
Okay, so game number 10. Thumper's Revenge versus Ansgar's Outlaws. Rockin' and rolling in the hills. The Outlaws once again show up with some rabbit's feet firmly planted in some less than sunny places. They grab a 2-0 victory today.
That Marauder 2 managed to take out both the Raksha and the Longbow, proving again that explosive ammo goes boom, and showing why the Thumper's Revenge technicianed into case 2 for that Longbow.
Game number 11, the Devil's Brigade versus Wendigo's Night Stalkers. One of our neoprene mats, the Mines, should feel like home for a unit called the Devil's Brigade. They put the Night Stalkers in the ground 4-2.
The Night Stalker Guillotine takes out both the Hopman and the Penetrator. The Devil Caesar takes out the Marauder, while the Night Sky gets a lucky and finishes off the other 3 mechs. Geez, there's another medium putting in some work.
I'm not so sure that mech was putting in work or just being like, haha, got the kill, haha, got the kill, haha, stole that kill too.
A lot of the medium mechs in League are used as finishing mechs. Right, they move in when everybody else has kind of moved on to something else and puts in the finishing touch.
They let everything else fluff it up and then they just take the load at the end.
Yep. Oh my god, you guys. It took me a second to get that joke, and now I'm really sad I got it at all. That's horrid. Game number 12. The Ghosts of Gunsburg up against the Condos Janissaries. Another neoprene, the desert map, has these 2 teams dancing and prancing around. But 3 of the ghosts fall down for a 3-1 Condos win.
The Yuhang goes down under the missile fire from the Viking, while on the other side, the map, the Penetrator takes out the Grasshopper, the Helios takes out the Marauder, and the Hunchback gets revenge on the Viking.
Game number 13, Fenrir's Frostfangs versus Paxton's Pathfinders. Splish Splash in the Prairie Lakes. They have the Frostfangs return with a vengeance to a 3-0 Slaughterfest.
The Fangs are out for some head. Wow, even now I'm doing it. They're out for some heads today, dropping all of the Pathfinder's mechs by removing the pilots. The Nodashi takes the head of the Wraith and the Marauder 2, and the Starslayer takes the head off the Black Knight. Brett, you have got this in my head now. This is going to be a rough rest of this episode.
That sounds like an ish you, not an ish me.
Game number 14, Neon Beatons versus the Vengeful Ones. This map gets a rename after the game, but the 2 clans face off on the Devil's Bath Arena. 4-1 Beaton's victory.
So right from the heart, I'm going to say this. Neither stable manager deserves praise today. Both teams deployed on level 5 or higher mountains that they couldn't get off of easily. This map is just basically sheer cliffs. 5 hex, 7 hex drops. They set up to have elevation advantage and realized after about 10 rounds that the Daishi and the Warhawk couldn't hit each other because they were out of range. The Massacre of the Betons actually stepped off a level 6 cliff, took the falling damage, which included 5 points to the head, pulled itself off the ground, and walked across. Battered but not broken, that Warhawk marched its way across the field to sit just out of range of the Vengeful mechs. The Thunderbolt gets taken out by the Vengeful's Direwolf, the Battle Cobra gets Nova'd. Yeah, 10 heavy mediums against that Battle Cobra is not going to be pretty. And the Warhawk pulls apart the Direwolf, Elementals, and Lancelot because he sat at 23 hexes out of range of the large pulse laser and the Gauss rifle of the Vengeful Ones, who were stuck on a hill, and John did not want to follow Aaron's jumping off a cliff lemming move.
It was a leap of faith.
Yeah, and the Warhawk was able to pick up 3 kills.
and this is the story of how this map got renamed. Game number 15, Red Sun Irregulars versus Half Cut. More clan-on-clan violence. The Bloody Basin sees battle today, and it has a disappointing lack of violence with a 1-1 tie.
There was a lot of maneuvering. You know that Paul's lance is really fast, so it wasn't easy for anybody to hit each other. However, the Warhawk got really lucky and took the head off of the Direwolf with an ERPPC shot, in that situation putting themselves ahead. However, the Irregulars were able to kill the Warhammer, tying things up with their Elementals. I gotta say, I love it when the Elementals can get kills, because that shows good maneuvering and then good play for those little guys.
I almost think we should put the Elementals on Killer's Corner as grand total kills from all of the ones that are on the field, with no points against counted. Game number 16, Kells Keshik versus Riston's Rogue. Lake Lawsy hosts this game, where we have some Capellan poking at the Comm Guards.
Let me tell you, this was a tough match as well. This looked about halfway through the game, right around turn 9, between 7 and 9. Jeff OG, not me, but OG was on a tear. He had already killed my Scorpion. He had already killed my T-Sang. Within a turn of each other, my Warhammer put the Perseus down, and then he killed my Warhammer in return. And all 3 of those kills were done by his shootist. It was crazy. I was down. He was up 3 to, basically it was a 3-1, and I somehow managed to, with my Fafnir, we went 18 turns, and I fired every round of plasma rifle ammunition I had, and on the very last round, I took out the 3rd mech to tie it up. And it was about 2 turns of me trying to shoot his shootist, trying to shoot that shootist when he only had 5 internal pips left in the center torso. And on that last round, I had fallen over, I was propping to fire, and I managed to hit with 2 out of my 4, and one of them just luckily tagged that center torso to tie it up. This very easily could have been a 3-2 victory for Riston's, and it was one hell of a match. Great game, Jeff. Always enjoy playing you. Always a tough match.
This brings us to our halfway mark. The Season 3 midpoint has arrived, and that always seems to sneak up on us. The seasons seem to go by so fast.
For sure, it seems like a 10-game season, while its 5 months of games is a long slog to get to the playoffs. However, here we are halfway there. It's nice to see pretty much everyone settling in, knows what to expect, and where they want their lances to go from here out, even with the newer players.
Let's see where the Killer's Corner is sitting at with our top murder machines for this season. The CBL stats we take for mech kills are tracked, and this is where we stand. In first place, we have Abashi's Avengers, Flashman, sitting at 13 kills with 2 kills against. In second place, we have the League of Robots Direwolf with 9 kills and 1 kill against. In third place, Grumpy Bear, 8 kills, no kills against. In fourth, Alshane Regular's Thunderhawk with 8 kills and 1 against. In fifth, surprising, Ansgar's Outlaws Marauder 2 comes in with 8 kills and 1 death. In sixth, Teddy Bear Parade makes a second appearance with their Warhammer for 6 kills with no deaths. Fox Knights King Crab comes in seventh with 6 kills and 1 death. Neon Beaton's Warhawk comes in at 8th with 7 and 2. Riston's Rogue's Perseus comes in 9th with 7 kills and 2 deaths. The Pit Viper's Thunderbolt comes in 10th with 5 kills and 1 death.
Coming in 11th, we have the Red Suns Irregulars with their Direwolf with 5 kills, 1 death. Now this is where we start seeing some of these pilots with more kills, but how valuable is a mech that gets you lots of kills but dies a lot too? You could be in a losing season with lots of kills if you keep dropping. The 12th place Vengeful Ones, their Direwolf has 7 kills but has had 3 deaths. 13th, the first Drakkon's Shadowhawk, one of those mechs, Jeff, that you were impressed with, has 6 kills with only 3 deaths. 14th place, the Cat's Nightingale Cavalry, their longbow has 4 kills with 1 death. Kenkazi's Wraith pulls in the 15th slot with 4 kills and 1 death. Number 16, Kondo's Janissaries, their Hunchback has 5 kills and 2 deaths. And back to back, the 17th place Kondo's Janissaries Helios, 4 kills and 1 death. Starting to round off the bottom 3, the number 18, the Pit Vipers Fafnir, 4 kills, 1 death. 19 is Riston Rogues, one of our top teams, with their shootist has 4 kills and 1 death. They're obviously spreading the kills around their entire lance. And rounding us off, number 20, we have Thumper's Revenge's Grasshopper, 4 kills, 1 death. Now, with our single units talked about, let's review where everybody is in the lance standings-wise.
In our top half, we have stable manager Darren, who is running the Teddy Bear Parade, which is a Warden Clan faction. He has 5 wins, 0 losses, 0 ties, with 16 points for a grand total of 15 points in the standings. Then coming in at second place, we have stable manager JP, running the Kondo's Janissaries, one of our Capellan stables. 5 wins, no losses, no ties, with again 16 points for, but 7 points against. Next up, we have stable manager Jeff with Riston's Rogues, representing Comstar. 4 wins, 1 tie, 15 points for, 5 points against. In fourth place, we have stable manager Jared, the League of Robots, a Warden Clan. 4 wins, 1 tie, 16 points for, 9 points against. Following that, we have stable manager Max, Abishai's Avengers, representing the Periphery. 4 wins, 1 loss, no ties, 18 points for, but 6 points against. Sixth place, we have Jay with Wendigo's Night Stalkers, also representing the Periphery. 4 wins, 1 loss, 16 points for, 8 points against. This is how we can start seeing where we get that differential, where we have a couple of teams that are having the same points for, but the points against is where they start stacking up in the standings. In 7th place, stable manager Corey, Ansgar's Outlaws. He's got 4 wins, 1 loss, 12 points for, and 8 points against. Our next stable manager is our other commentator Jeff, running Kel's Keshet, with 3 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie, 14 points for, 10 points against. Gary is rocking the Red Suns Irregulars, 3 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie, 13 points for, 10 points against. In 9th place, we have stable manager Matt, Cat's Nightingale Cavalry. Played in first season, took season 2 off because of having a child. Oh, what an excuse. Comes back with a mercenary stable this year for 3 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie, 11 points for, 8 points against.
Next up, we have Aaron with his Neon Beatons coming in at 11th place. Got 3 wins and 2 losses, 16 points for, and 8 points against. In 12th, we have Laura with Thumper's Revenge. 3 wins, 2 losses, and 6 points for and 8 points against.
In 13th place, we have Hamilton with Fox Knights, with 2 wins, 2 losses, and a bye win, giving him 11 kills for and 7 against. Carlo with Alshane's Regulars, also with 2 wins, 2 losses, and a bye win, but a points for of 12 and a points against of 9. 15th place is Galen with the Kenkazi, with 2 wins, 2 losses, and a tie, with 12 kills for, 9 against. Rounding out our top 16, we have Cal with the Pit Vipers, 2 wins, 2 losses, and a tie, with 10 for and 7 against. And just barely being squeezed out of the top 16, we have Brett with the First Dracons, with 2 wins, 2 losses, 1 tie, but unfortunately 12 kills, 14 losses, puts him down into the bottom rung. Number 18, Scott C. his Devil's Brigade with 2 wins, 3 losses, 10-4, 13 against. I've moved quite a ways up. I'm actually in 19th place. Dead Man's Hand with 2 wins, 3 losses, 9 kills for, 14 against. Brandon rounds out our top 20. Radiant Raven Raiders Free Worlds with 2 wins, 3 losses, with 7 kills for and 13 against. Justin with the Tin Man's Tin Cans are in 21st place. Federated Sons Lance with 1 win, 3 losses, and a bye win, with 8 kills for and 13 against. Phil's in 22nd place with Hogan's Heroes, 3 losses but 2 bye wins, with 7 kills for and 10 against. Paul and the Half Cut has 1 win, 3 losses, and a tie. He has 4 kills for and 10 against. Alexander the Wolf Pack, our last mercenary representative, has 1 win, 4 losses, 10 kills for, 9 against. Heather's in 25th place with the Blitzkrieg Jezebels, 1 win, 4 losses, 9 kills for, 13 against. 26th place is John with the Vengeful Ones and the Crusader Clan, 1 win, 4 losses, 9 kills for, 15 against. 27th place is James with the Ghosts of Gunsburg, with 1 win, 4 losses, 6 kills for, 12 against. 28th place, Will, who's bounced up from the bottom of the standings up to Fenrir's Frostfangs Lance, 1 win, 4 losses, 3 kills for, 9 against. 29th place, we have Chris M with the Remnants, 1 win, 4 losses, 5 kills for, 12 against. 30th place, Todd, Naiscit, with 1 win, 4 losses, 3 kills for, 14 against. 31st place, Devon with the 1st Merrick Militia, 0 wins, 4 losses, and a tie. They've got 3 kills for and 11 against. And bringing up the end there in 32nd place, we have Chris C with the Paxton Pathfinders. 0 wins, 5 losses, 3 kills for, 19 against. This leads us into week 6. Woo! The start of the last half matches. Game number 1. The Alshane Regulars, with a record of 3 wins, 2 losses, no ties, and one of those wins being a bye win, up against the League of Robots. 4 wins, 0 losses, 1 tie. Well, this one doesn't actually look on paper to be that lopsided, but the League of Robots has been kicking butt really all season. I'm going to say League of Robots are going to win again, and they're going to win with a pretty convincing 3-1.
All right, folks. So this is where we wanted to try and get people having matches that are a little bit more balanced for them. We have a 4th place player versus our 14th place player. So I'm thinking this is going to be a little bit more fair than what Lee's given credit for. I believe the Alshane Regulars are going to clap at least 2 of the robots, but it's going to be a robots 4-2 victory.
Carlo and the Alshane have been coming out in these last few games and really showing that he knows what he's doing. Jared's been running them numbers through his head like crazy, so he knows what he's doing as well. This is going to come down to map and dice, literally. And if League of Robots can get their perch where they want to be, I think it's all over for Alshane. If Alshane can get a map where he can get in with his shorter range stuff, I think the League might struggle a little. He's also got that triple gauze rifle Thunderhawk with upgraded case 2 now, right? So I'm going to lean in between the two of yous here, and I'm going to say it's going to be a 3-2 for League of Robots.
Game number 2, we have the Teddy Bear Parade, top of the league at the moment with 5 wins, 0 losses, 0 ties. They're up against Thumper's Revenge. 3 wins, 2 losses, 0 ties. Now, the Thumpers have been sliding a bit the past couple of games, but their skills are really adding up, and she's playing better. The Teddy Bear Parade, they got to charge that much faster now. Kodiak across the field, right into the clutches of the Thumpers MMLs. I don't know if that's going to win the game for Laura. The Teddy Bears have just been absolutely dominant. I would like to say that he's going to start losing some mechs this game, though. I think the Thumper's Revenge is going to lose. It's going to be a Teddy Bear Parade win, but I think it's going to be a 4-3. I think it's going to be down to the last 2 mechs.
All right, so we have our first place player versus our 12th place in this match. Both teams have had some success and have some kill counts going for them. Thumper's Revenge has been doing really good things with the lance that she's bringing this year. I do believe this is probably going to be another Teddy Bear victory, though. Grumpy Bear is just that grumpy. He is going to show up and give a big old bear hug for a 4-2. I think Laura's going to get some kills on this one, but the Clanners are a little on the dangerous side.
I think Grumpy Bear is going down.
You know, I don't think Grumpy Bear is going down this time. I honestly believe that this will be a lot lower scoring game than you guys are predicting. Myself, I think we're looking at a 2-0 Teddy Bears win.
Game number 3, we have the Wendigos Night Stalkers. 4 wins, 1 loss, 0 ties. Up against Cats Cavalry. 3 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie. This is a good matchup. Like, this is not lopsided. They're real close to each other in the standings. I am a fan of Matt's team. I think it's good. I know the Wendigos Night Stalkers are, I think, your favorite team other than yourself, Jeff. But I like Matt's team. Also, another Lance in the top 16 with that longbow of doom with all the MMLs. I think if he moves that Lance right and does the right attacks, I think Cats Cavalry is going to win this one. It's going to be another tight game, though. I'm going to go say 3-2.
Okay, so this game we have our 6th place versus our 10th place. I am going to lean in on Jay and the Wendigo Night Stalkers here. The tandem charge warheads of that longbow really don't mean anything against, oh, I hit a double heatsink. Oh, I hit a double heatsink. Oh, I hit another double heatsink. Oh, I hit a laser. The Night Stalkers are just solid, and they don't have lots of explosive equipment on them. So those tandems really are not super beneficial. I think this is going to be a 3-2, though. I'm agreeing with you on the score. It is going to be a Night Stalker victory, though.
You still got to get into range with them. And that's what it's going to come down to. You want to be into range. Yes, you got your LRM MMLs coming in. But Jay's got how many PPCs coming back? 4 heavies.
Cat spot off the clans to a tie. Right?
Yeah.
So that's a pretty big sign that range isn't going to necessarily affect the Cats Cavalry that much.
Range and target priority. In my opinion, affects pretty much everything.
I think it's going to be a tight fight. That's why I'm saying 3-2. I just think Cats are going to edge it out.
I'm in full agreement that it's going to be a tight fight, and I'm 100% with you guys on 3-2, but I'm leaning with Brett on this one. 3-2 Wendigos.
Yeah, you guys are both kicking my butt in prediction percentages anyway, but you're doing this because it's your buddy.
That has nothing to do with that.
And you have a hard on for his lance. I know you love it.
His lance just speaks to me.
Yeah, and that's totally fine. It's legitimate arguments, right? Totally legitimate. I just think Matt's able to squeak this one out.
Matt's lance is great too. Don't get me wrong.
Hey, and it's not even my favorite longbow. It's got a heat issue, but if he plays it right, it's vicious. Game number 4, we have Fox Knights at 3 wins with bye in there, and 2 losses and 0 ties. Up against the Pit Vipers, which have 2 wins, 2 losses, and 1 tie. This is a good group. I think this top 16 has got some great lances in it. I am definitely a fan of the Fox Knights group. I think they've got a very tough group. I think their lance makeup is one of the best in the new batch. I'm going to say Fox Knights are going to win this one. They're going to be a little bit lower scoring, so I think it's going to be a 2-1 at time.
So I'm kind of sad about this match. Foch Knights actually has 2 bye wins already going for them. And I know the Pit Vipers are out of province on game day. So I'm hoping that they can match up on the following weekend, but I don't know what availability is going to be. This is our 13th place versus our 16th place. I don't want to see it to be another bye win for Foch Knights. I think Foch Knights will actually pull out a 2-1 victory should they both show up to the table.
And we're not far off if it ends up being a bye win because it's a 2-0 bye win. So we're close. But this time you remembered that he might be getting a bye win, unlike last week where we completely blanked out that Brandon's not in town.
Ruins my fun.
Let's see if I remember when we actually get to Brandon's game that he might be out of town again.
With this match with the Pit Vipers versus Fox Knights, I've called against Pit Vipers a couple times now, and every time it seems that I do, Cal seems to be just there to pull it out and say, nope, I'm winning this one. So this time, I'm going to call for Cal, and I'm going to call it being a 2-1.
So you're calling a Fafnir 2 kills versus one other thing dying?
Yeah, Fafnir 2 kills versus probably the Marauder going down.
How about the Fafnir 2 kills and someone kills the Fafnir in the last round?
Also a possibility.
Game number 5, we have Ansgar's Outlaws. 4 wins, 1 loss, 0 ties. Up against Kondo's Janissaries. Space number 2 in our lineup, 5 wins, 0 losses, 0 ties. JP's Lance is on a tear. It is so well built. Ansgar's Outlaws are nothing to sneeze at. They've earned a really respectable 4 wins out of the first 5 games. I want to improve my odds. I gotta go JP, even though I really think Ansgar's Outlaws are very capable of winning. I think JP's going to win this one, and it's going to be a 3-1.
This is our 7th place team versus our 2nd place team. I was so sure Thumpers was going to get a victory here last week that Ansgar's is just got to be out of luck sooner rather than later. JP's such a defensive player. I think this is probably going to be a 3-1 Janissaries victory.
You know, it's hard.
Wait. Did I call the same thing as Lee? No, this is going to be a 4-2 Janissaries victory. Can't be exactly the same as what Lee says.
We're getting to that, are we? All right.
It's hard to call against JP. He is top tier player. He knows his stuff. Corey's come out swinging, and he's surprised me. He's one of my friends, and I'll be honest, I didn't expect him to be sitting here with a 4-1 win-loss record right now. And I think because of that, I'm going to go against my inner being, and I'm going to say this is going to be an Ansgar's win, and it's going to be 3-2.
Game number 6, we have the Red Suns Irregulars. 3 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie, up against Kells Keshik. 3 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie. Tied in score, not quite in standings, but real close. Why do you guys keep making me having to pick against 2 people I really enjoy watching play? I'm going to actually have to say Kells Keshik is going to have this one. Sorry, Gary. Jeff's going to win this one because he actually took one of our top teams to a tie. OG would have been right in there with JP and Darren if it hadn't have been for you, Jeff. You kind of knocked him off that perch. I'm going to say you can do the same thing to the Red Suns Irregulars and take over, move up a little bit in the standings. It's going to be a Kells win. I think the clans won't be able to handle the heat that you can add. It's going to be a 3-2. I think you're just going to slow him down so much with your heat increases that's what's going to be this change.
Okay, this is team number 9 versus team number 8. With the exact same score schedule. So you can't get any closer than this. With that in mind, I do believe the Red Suns are going to pull out a 4-2 victory here. It's not going to be painless, but they are going to walk out with a win.
Yeah, Gary's Lance is scary. I am going to come out swinging, though. He He does have my favorite thing that a clanner can take, which is, I like to call it my free point. Thank you for bringing your elementals to the game. On that, I'm gonna say I'm gonna beat Gary, and it's going to be 3-2.
I think he'll just melt his elementals. They're just gonna go poof.
Oh, we're all in agreement there. The elementals are going to be one of the things dead on the Red Sun side for sure.
Unless he hides them.
That's the only way they don't. That's the only way they're going to survive, is if they're well hidden.
I'm pretty sure that Fafner's walking off the field too, though.
Game number 7, the Riston's Rogues. 4 wins, 0 losses, 1 tie. They're up against the Abishai Avengers with a record of 4 wins, 1 loss. Max and Jeff are playing a league finals rematch. So maybe this is even more bad blood than the 2 Jeffs games. This is a great combination way to start off the second half. Riston's Rogues are going to win. I think they are a 2-time champion team. I think they're going to carry them all the way to the finals. So it's going to be Riston's Rogues, and I think it's going to be a 3-1. I think Max is going to learn a lesson about Jeff's capabilities.
Okay, so this is 3rd place versus 5th place. Again, really tight. This is where we wanted to see players coming up in the second half. I got to vote for Riston's Rogues on this as well. Abishai's Avengers has some head cappers and whatnot, but the Rogues were good to go from day one. So they've got all their skills in. They've played with the lance as they wanted it. They've only done some minor tweaks here and there. I think this is going to be a 4-3 Rogues victory.
Well, this one here is, unfortunately, very likely to be a bye win for Abishai's. If I remember correctly.
No, he might.
They're already talking about rescheduling it for the week after.
Oh, good! Thank God. I was really didn't want to see this, because this is your game of the week.
Oh
this
yeah,
here 100% is your game of the week, and I really didn't want to see this come down to here's your bye win.
I don't think either player would have been happy about that at all.
No, I don't think it would be a good. It'd be a crappy way to go into the second half.
Max wants the shot at taking back. You beat me last time, but I'm going to beat you this time.
Well, if the match happens, I think it's going to come down to. It's going to be a 4-3. It'll be a bloodbath. 4-3, probably Riston's. And I wouldn't be surprised if that Flashman is what picks up the 3 kills for Abishai's.
Oh yeah, I looked at his lance. It's a tough lance. That's a lot of zombies, a lot of heavy PPCs, and the heavy PPCs have been doing work for these teams that have been able to take it. Game number 8. We have the Kinkazi with 2 wins, 2 losses, 1 tie, up against the Neon Betons. 3 wins, 2 losses. 2 good teams. 2 absolutely top B finals teams. That's my opinion of both Aaron and Galen. Great teams. Just don't seem to be able to pull the wins in to take the overall title, but definitely B-side champion level teams. Aaron's clanners have some advantage, but now that we're into week 6, the inner sphere upgrades are starting to tell. I'm going to give this one to Galen. It totally is dependent upon map, so I think the Kinkazi are going to win this one, and it is going to be a... See, because if Neon Beatons gets a couple of kills, that could totally change everything. I'm going to say it's going to be a 4-2, but I think Galen's last 2 mechs are going to be hanging on by duct tape and wishes.
This is team number 15 versus team number 11 going into the second half. I believe in the Clan Jade Falcons, they can take this. We are going to see a Neon Betons 4-1 victory.
Oh, it's a tough one, because they're both pretty good players. This is a dream match for Kenkazi because Beatons has no way to shut down that C3 other than killing the mechs. I want to say Beatons, but I'm going to go with Kenkazi on this just because I think he actually outmaneuvers Aaron. And I think that's going to play a lot into this for him getting the numbers he wants to get with that C3 network.
Yeah, the pulse benefit is lost if Kinkazi can stand at short range for all of his long range firepower. Not stand, but maneuver within that short range. The clan range and targeting benefit disappears.
Exactly. The one thing that Beaton has is he does have that hard as nails camouflaged Warhawk. Ugh, that's map dependent, right? You could easily draw the pavement experience and not have a friggin' tree to sit in. So it's a great skill, but there is days where that skill will not take effect. I'm gonna say Kenkazi win, and I think it's going to be a 3-2.
Game number 9, we have the Tin Man's Tin Cans. 2 wins, 3 losses, 0 ties, but one of those is a bye win, so kind of limits the enthusiasm on his win-loss record. Up against Paxton Pathfinders. 0 wins, 5 losses, and 0 ties. This is a little bit lopsided battle. This is our first game in the B-side conference. I really want to watch Chris win. I really do. I played Justin's Lance last week, and it was tough. It's a good Lance. Tin Man's Tin Cans are going to take this one. Sorry, Chris. I really want to see you start pulling it together, and hopefully you can. Prove me wrong, please. I want to see you get some wins. I hate to see any team not winning. I'm going to go with a 4-2.
So this is 21st place versus 32nd place. We have 2 teams that are really enjoyable to come out and sit at the table with. I believe this is going to be a 2-2 tie.
I can't help but love Justin's Lance. It's well designed. Chris has been struggling this year. He's still not quite got his purpose for his Lance down pat yet. And I think with the targeting computers that and Pulse that Tin Man's has, the great equalizer in that is that Marauder 2 of Paxton's. So I'm going to say Tin Man's on this one, and I think it's going to be a 3-2 Tin Man's victory.
Game number 10. We have the Wolf Pack. 1 win, 4 losses, 0 ties. Up against Fenrir's Frostfangs. 1 win, 4 losses, 0 ties.
All right, so this game, Alex, Wolfpack versus Will, Fenrir's Frostfangs, position 24 versus position 28. I think these guys are going to go in and they're going to have a good time. I think if they can push the round count, we are going to see a 3-2 Wolfpack victory.
I think that's where you're in the wrong there, Brett. There's certain teams that don't play very quickly due to a million different reasons, so I think a long round count isn't going to happen. I think this is going to be actually a tighter game than the Wolfpack wants it to be. The Fenris have played half this Lance already for an entire season, right? The Archer and I believe the T-Zang or whatever he has have been playing this way. He played them last season too. That T-Zang doesn't sound right, but off the top of my head, I can't remember what his own. Nodachi, he played that last season too. He knows the Lance. Half the Lance he has under his belt. And he's got to win. He's ready to rock and roll. I think the Fenrir's Frostfangs are going to win. I think it's going to be a 2-0 because I think he's going to frustrate the Wolf Pack and not let them get the kill.
You know, I feel like I've picked on these 2 teams for the entirety of predictions because I usually end up calling for both of them to lose. And it's nothing against the players. It is strictly just the matchups usually. They lean very heavily one way or another. This one here, I think it's very evenly matched. And I'm going to split the difference between both Brett and Lee. And I'm going to call this a 2-2 tie.
Game number 11. We have the first Merrick's Militia. 0 wins, 4 losses, 1 tie. up against the Devil's Brigade, who just barely missed out on the A side. 2 wins, 3 losses, 0 ties.
Okay, so this is our 31st team versus our 18th place team. I think Merrick Militia is actually due for a win. I believe they are probably going to pull out a 2-1 victory here, but it is going to be a game where things just have to go right for them, and they're going to get their final victory.
I want to see some of these teams with no wins get at least a win. Come on, guys, move up with me. Come on, follow me. I had a bad start too. I'm gonna say this isn't gonna be Merrick Militia's day though. The Devil's Brigade is almost a A-side team up against a team that's not having very much luck. I think the Devil's Brigade is going to win this, and they're going to win it 3-1.
Devil's Brigade just took down Wendigo's Night Stalkers, A-side top 6 player right now. He just come off that victory. He's going to treat that awesome the same way he treated Wendigos, and I think he's going to put on a clinic on this one. I think Devil's Brigade is coming out of this 4-1.
Game number 12, we have Hogan's Heroes with 2 bye wins, 3 losses, 0 ties, versus Half Cut. 1 win, 3 losses, 1 tie.
22nd versus 23rd position. I would like to flip a coin. Can I take a coin flip on this one?
Nope.
I think this is going to be a game where it's going to be too tight to call. I think we're going to see a 3-2 victory at the end of the day, where people are like, we got to get one more round in because somebody's got to get the kill, where it's a 2-2 tie right up until the end. Hogan's Heroes is going to do really well, but the Half Cut has really fast mobile mechs, so they're hard to hit. And his other mechs, I mean, like the Warhammer's a zombie, and the Warhawk is still a Warhawk, so weight of clan weapons, 3-2, Half Cut, final call.
Everybody knows I'm a big fanboy for Paul. I like the way he plays. I love the fact that he's so unpredictable. This Lance allows him to do that. I think the last half, these next 5 games, the Half Cut's going to really pull into its own. It's going to end up being right in the middle of the pack by the end of the season. I think he's going to win this one. I think it's going to be Paul's biggest game of the year with a 3-1 victory. It's so hard to hit his fast 2 mechs, and the other 2 are just hard to kill.
Wait. Paul didn't have a skill spin this week. Can we just auto-assign him the bayonet charge on the Dragonfly?
I'm super surprised that we didn't receive that yet. I think that might have been an error in communication.
Trusted the wrong delivery system and it didn't get there.
Both these, I like both these Lances. Hogan's he's got a great design, and Half Cut, well, I love watching Paul play his Lance. I do have to correct Brett on one thing. He did engineer that Warhammer, so it does not have, it's not a zombie. It actually has an XL engine, but it's a Clan XL, so it's not so bad.
Okay, my bad, I forgot. So many rebuilds, it's hard to keep them all straight sometimes.
I know, and it's nothing major. I mean, it's Clan XL, you lose a torso, it's 2 engine hits. Most people don't care when you're rocking your Clan. This one here, I think Paul has the maneuverability and he has the experience. Phil is relatively new to the game. I'm going to call this for Paul and Half Cut, and I think he's going to pull this out 3-2.
Game number 13, Blitzkrieg Jezebels, 1 win, 4 losses, 0 ties. They are up against the Radiant Raiders Abroad. 2 wins, 3 losses, 0 ties.
25th place versus 20th place. However, congrats, Heather, on your bye win, as Radiant Raiders is not expected to be back in country in time to get this game played.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. I know Heather was looking forward to playing Brandon. He's a fun guy to play against. She'll take the win. Who's not going to accept a win? But yeah, she really just prefers to play.
It does really kind of suck that he's not here for this one, but, you know, congrats on the bye win, and I'm hoping he's enjoying that vacation abroad.
Game number 14, we have the Vengeful Ones. 1 win, 4 losses, 0 ties. They're up against the Ghosts of Gunsburg. 1 win, 4 losses, 0 ties. But most of the Ghosts of Gunsburg's losses were not under their control because they weren't here to play the games.
Yeah, this team came in on game 3 or game 4. I don't even remember at this point. But it is our 26th spot versus our 27th spot. I am going to be going for the Ghosts. I ran a team named the Ghosts before, so got to go with that. Can't, bet against it. Let's see what we think for score, though. I think this is probably going to be a 2-1 victory for the Ghosts. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, but I think he's just going to spend the whole time playing maneuvering.
I've been looking at John's Lance, scratching my head, trying to figure out how this Lance has been struggling so much this season. It's got all the firepower in the world and all the accuracy in the world. You think it would kill at least double the number of mechs that he's done so far. Even with a losing season, I figured he would at least be killing more. I think this is also going to be where John's going to shine in this bottom half in the last 5 games. The Vengeful Ones are going to take this, but it's going to be close. It's going to be a 3-2 victory for the Vengeful Ones. And I think it's going to be where John's Lance, he's finally going to get things in his head right, and he's not going to set up on a level 7 hill.
Yeah, John's Lance on paper, he should be just staggering people all day long. I think that James and him are going to have a fantastic game. I think the two are going to have lots of laughs and just enjoy playing each other. James is, from talking to him and watching him play games, he just enjoys being at the table. And John enjoys that as well, just to be sitting there across from somebody. So I think this one will probably end up being a Vengeful Ones victory, and I think it's probably going to be 3-2.
I'm thinking John may be running into somebody else that he's going to just look forward to playing every season.
Yeah.
I think some of the almost all of the new players that we've brought into League this season, in the past 2 seasons, are people you're really happy to be sitting across the table playing against.
Except Gary. Screw that guy. Yeah. You hear that, Gary?
Yeah,
Screw that guy.
Gary, we're turning around the boat. You're no longer my favorite. No, damn it. I can't say it. No, dude, we love you. Game number 15. We have the first Dracons. 2 wins, 2 losses, 1 tie. Up against the Remnants. 1 win, 4 losses, 0 ties. Brett, you were so close. So close to the top 16.
If I'd lose less mechs, I would have been in the top 16. I'm just too aggressive. This is our 17th place versus our 29th place. Speaking of being aggressive, though, I think I'm going to be charging in to try and eliminate that C3 network advantage that the Remnants has. I am terrified of the Thunder Chicken. It's Turkey weekend, but that's over and gone with, so we're not playing on its lucky week. I think this is probably going to be a 4-2 Dracon victory.
Brad always wins by 2 when he wins.
Yeah, I know. 4-2. See, this is the thing. I can't call for Chris. I just can't. I'm not helping him or hurting him, it seems like, but I seem to hurt him more when I call for him. It's going to be the first Dracons. They're going to win it. I think it's going to be 3-2, though. I just can't 100% agree with you. I also think that you're going to end up... Chris is going to get somebody to survive the game.
That Thunder Chicken is very survivable.
I think... I love Chris's Lance, and I love calling for Chris. Brett is... he plays a little hyper-aggressive, and that's what you need to play if you're playing versus C3. You need to be all up in their face, so that way that number advantage doesn't matter. I want to say this would be a Remnants victory, but I think it's going to be Dracons this time. I think we're looking at a 3-1 Dracons victory.
Rounding off week 6, we have game number 16. The NISCIT Nacit away! 1 win, 4 losses, 0 ties, up against yours truly with the Dead Man's Hand. 2 wins, 3 losses, and 0 ties.
Okay, 30th place team versus 19th place team. And Lee, write it on the calendar because I think you're coming away with a 4-1 victory on this one. You are due to have a monstrous win.
My last two games have been 4-1 and 4-0. If I get another big win, I'm starting to feel pretty good about the way this Lance is coming together.
I also know that you're one of the top teams Todd wanted to play this year, though. So regardless of how it comes out.
So I haven't played Todd since the original league wrapped up its 7th season.
Before Brandon was born. Cough, cough.
Oh, yeah. Like 2002, something like that is when it folded, somewhere in that range. The dates escape me. Getting old. And it was fun. Todd's fun to play against. He has lots of great questions. He does interesting things when he plays. I think it's definitely going to be me. I think it's going to be a 4-2 victory because I'm looking forward to seeing what his Night Star can do. I just would have been a lot more scared of the Sagittaire with my Templar and my Blackhawk going near that thing.
Oh, well, I have to call it for Deadman. You've been pulling it back, Lee. Like, the turnaround is crazy. The only thing I hope is that the Aggramech gets taken off the field in expedient ways, just to remove that eyesore off the map. And you watch, this will be the game that Aggramech's like, hey, I got 4 kills. Screw you, buddy.
Yeah, then I'm in the killer's. I'll be in killer's corner at that point, and you'll have to see it every week.
Yeah, but I do think I think you guys will have fun. Like you said, you've been waiting to play him again. I think it'll be a good game, but I do think it'll be a dead man's victory, and I think it's going to be 4-2.
Well, everybody, this has actually felt like a shorter than normal episode, but in the end, it's actually a little bit longer. There was some more information we had to pass along. Otherwise, it's been great, everybody. Have a great night. Don't forget to hit the like, the notification bell, and pass this on to your friends, families, enemies, cousins, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your week. See you guys in 7 days.
All right, so for all of our fans, love to hear from you in the comments. Are you happy with the teams that you're cheering for being in the places are they at? Did you think somebody else was going to be in a different spot? Start saying some stuff in the comments and let us know who you're cheering for. Let those teams know as well. Everybody wants to have their fan favorites, and let's hear from you next week.
I got nothing, so have a fantastic rest of your night, guys, and we'll see you guys on the battlefield here shortly.